Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking, I need help in creating figures. Don't worry, that's where I come in. Also, I'm assuming you're somewhere in the science, the STEM field. You're a researcher, you're a scientist. This tutorial is for you, and if you're not in this field, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out! 2022 is a year where we gatekeep tutorial videos. I'm kidding. This video is for everyone, especially you. And you've come to the right place. I am here to help you out. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe and like this video. And share it to your lab. Share it to your friends who are also struggling in Adobe Illustrator. Not saying that you are struggling in it, but just, might need help. You're probably thinking, how do I get from this to this? And that's why I will help you out, starting now. All right, welcome to another tutorial video. Open the Illustrator program. Each journal has requirements for figure width and height and whatnot. Today's video, we're not gonna go into the specifics of that. We're gonna make a figure panel for lab meeting. All right, so we're gonna click new file. For now, I'll just choose letter, but I wanna make sure that the color mode is RGB. RGB is for anything that is digital and anything that is going to be printed out on a t-shirt or a poster or whatever. CMYK is the go-to. 300 ppi is good and great. Cool. So this is the artboard. I'm gonna zoom out. So control minus minus minus. All right, so I'm gonna drag my images. Bam. There we go. I'm gonna rearrange these from the most interior section to the most posterior. Going from left to right. So bam, and then bam, and then this one here. And then here. Before I forget, make sure every time you import images, select them and always click embed. The reason why you want to embed pictures is because if you accidentally move the original picture file to, let's say, another folder, or you accidentally delete it, sometimes it will appear missing on this figure. If you embed it in this image, you can change the original location of the picture. It won't affect the picture in this document. So next what I'm gonna do is shrink these because these are hella large. So I'm selecting all. And then holding down the shift key, I'm going to shrink them, okay? Because it'll proportionally shrink these. If I don't click shift, this is what happens. Oh no, my pictures are a little wonky and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to shrink these just a little bit, okay? To zoom in, I'm going to click Control plus plus plus. Okay, I'm gonna shrink these just a little bit more to fit onto this white space onto the artboard. Also, I want to mention that it is very important, to make sure that on one of these images there is a scale bar. Okay, we'll just make it bigger than we need to. Now, what you'll notice is that each of these images is slightly slanted and it's not in a perfect, it's not the same rectangle or square or whatever. That's okay. So we're going to make a square over here. So M, let's say we want the pictures to be in this square, this size. Because this is our biggest section on the right, probably this one. Going to probably make it that big. Yeah, we want to make sure that the sections fit within this rectangle. I think this is good. I'm sure with the journal there is some type of dimension that you have to follow, but right now I'm just raw dogging it. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay to raw dog. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm just imagining a PI watching this video, this tutorial video, and it's oh my God, I wanna show this to my students, but he's so inappropriate. And I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to be a little nasty. I'm trying to be very PG, okay? So I think this is a good size. Let's just change the transparency to 50. You're probably why, Darren? What we wanna do is essentially put these images into this rectangle. We're gonna copy this and we're gonna make 4 rectangles. Next is to redraw the scale bar. because the scale bar that's already in this picture, it's not going to be used in the final product. In fact, we'll not crop this out, but we'll mask it out, and I'll explain soon. So to make a line, we click over here, or backslash. I think it's backslash, that's a shortcut. And right now, the fill tool is white. We don't need to use a fill, we need to use the border. I'm gonna change this to none. The outline is black. You wanna make sure that when you're drawing this line, you wanna make sure that it's as close as possible. Like so. Cool. Now, any changes you make in terms of size to these images, you wanna make sure that the scale bar is also selected. Otherwise, the scale bar won't be adjusted too. I mean, you could like make it again, but that's just additional work. I'm gonna move this aside. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. I'm gonna rotate it just a little bit to make sure that the sections are perfectly horizontal. Yeah? All right, so I'm gonna rotate it like that. And right now I'm just eyeing it. I'm sure there's a different way to make sure that it's even more straight. Something I'm not, if y'all can't tell. Also, I'll be so sad if y'all really thought I was straight. Come on. Who am I fooling? Who am I fooling? I'm gonna shrink everything just a little bit because I wanna make sure that I can fit this within the artboard. I think this is a good size. Zoom in. Bring this down here. My scale bar is still there. Okay, I wanna make sure that I don't forget about this, so I'm just gonna make this super thick. I'm gonna change the stroke to, let's say, 5. I know it looks ugly, but it's more of a reminder of don't forget this. I'll adjust it later. Next, this is the very important part. But before I do the most important part, I'm going to double these squares again. And they'll be used as the background for each section. And I'll explain that too. So copy, paste, but I'm gonna change the transparency to these to 100. This is the most important part. This is where I'm going to mask these images. You're probably asking like, why won't we just crop it? Don't ever crop images if you're making figures, because when you crop them, every adjustment you make is permanent. You can't go back. So let's say you're making several edits to the figure. You realize, oh my gosh, like I cut out a portion of this picture that I needed. You can't go back and change it, it's permanent. So what you can do instead is mask it. Now I'm just going to kind of hover these over here, and now I'm gonna zoom in, and I'm going to carefully mask it. So you wanna make sure that these rectangles are on top. Once you're happy with this, okay. Going to select both the rectangles, right click, make clipping mask. I know it looks ugly, but don't worry. That's where these rectangles come in. We want to bring these rectangles to the very back because right now it's on top. So you can right click, arrange, and then send to back, but the shortcut is Control Shift open bracket. Learn these shortcuts. I promise you it'll save so much time. Click this rectangle, Control Shift bracket, and it brings it to the back. Now I know it looks invisible because the artboard is also white. Let's just change this to, let's say like a gray color, so we know where it's at, right? Next, select these two rectangles, align it in the middle, horizontally and then vertically. So bam, bam. Select the background, or select the back box, and click the eyedropper tool. We're going to make the background the same color as that. Oh my God. Wow, that's so cool. Now going back to my selection tool, because I'm still in the eyedropper tool. Go back to your selection tool, or V, group them. Because if you don't group them, and you want to move it. Oops, oh no. But let's say, I'm not happy with this because for some reason, let's say this section is still slightly rotated. If you want to go back to the original image and adjust the clipping mask, just double click on this. Now it isolates the image and you can rotate it even more. Let's say you want to rotate it like this. No, you don't. To get outside of this, just click outside of this rectangle. I am happy with this. Let's put our scale bar back in. We're gonna change it to a white color. Let's change the stroke to 2. Like I said, this depends on whatever journal you're submitting to. And if it isn't already, this might be in the very back layer, but you want to bring this to the front. So you want to make sure that it's on top. Oh, I thought that was a J. That's not a J, that's an open bracket. So to bring it to the front, Control Shift close bracket. The last thing is to group these. You can right click group or Control G. Same exact thing to all of these. So I'm gonna do it right now. Cool. See how this is slightly it's not completely horizontal, so I'm just gonna, there we go. Wow, that's beautiful, Darian. That is so beautiful. I'm going to mask, clip mask. Same thing with this. I'm going to clip mask. And this, I'm also, nope, I think it's kind of off-centered, or not off-center, but like not, yeah. You see how there's like a gap here and this one's touching, so I'm gonna rotate it like that. Wow. Darian, you look so good. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Clip mask. All right, zoom out. I'm gonna change these rectangles to a gray color. No, I'm just gonna make them pink because why not? These are probably on top. I don't want them to be on top. We want them to be bottoms. So Control Shift open bracket. Okay, and then I'm just gonna roughly put them behind. Don't worry. We're going to select and then center using the alignment tools. We're gonna do it for all of these. This one's okay because it's not back. We can still group this, or we can just delete it. I'm just gonna delete it because I don't think we'll need that. It's okay. This one, center, center. This one, I'm gonna zoom in just a bit. And we want this back rectangle to be the same color, black color as this section, as this, yeah, no. So select the pink box, click I for the eyedropper tool. We're gonna try to blend it in. Blend. I'm just clicking because I want to make sure that the edges blend right in. There we go. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. So go back to my selection tool or V. Select both of these items, right click, group or Control G. Same thing with this one. Select this pink box, click the eyedropper tool or I. And then I want to click this back. There we go. Looks good. Click V to go back to my selection tool up here. Group these together. Wow. Okay, now we want to align these, right? So we want to make sure that these are aligned. You can either eye it, but that's just too much work and it requires too much focus. We already spent a lot of time focusing in lab. We want to be lazy. We want to do things the easier way. I'll select these two and I'll align them up here. Bam! And then I think I'm happy with this distance, like that. Select these two and then also align it like that. And then here, just put this in the middle. Select these two items and then right align and then bottom align. Wow, cool. Zoom out. Maybe these pictures are too small and you want it to fill the space. You can always select everything and then hold shift. Make it bigger, you know, like that. For shits and giggles, I'm just gonna group everything together. So select everything, Control G. I wanna center it on the page, like so. The next thing is we wanna add our panel letters. To click the type tool, or the shortcut to the type tool is T. Always make sure the character is Arial. I think some journals allow you to use Arial or Helvetica. But y'all, look at Helvetica. It's just ugly. I'm not a big fan of Helvetica. Helvetica can go to hell. Arial, we love Arial. You know which Arial we love? We love Ned's wife, Arial. She deserves justice. Anyway, okay, so I love Arial. Literally every time I make a design, I use Arial for everything. Okay, so Arial, and you want to bold this, so you can click this one. This, you can make it regular, italicize it, narrow bold, or whatever. We're going to bold it. We're going to make it white. And we're going to click We're gonna name this A. Oh, the size. What size do we want it to be? Once again, dependent on the journal. But this is lab meeting. Lab meeting doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing is real. Okay, I think 20 looks good. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy and paste. Don't worry, just have a rough idea of where you want it to be placed for each panel, okay? So we're gonna change this to B, C, D. Next, I'm going to align it like that. And then we wanna make sure A and C are aligned on the left. B and D align on the left. And let's say we want it to be on the more left like that. Same thing with AC. AC. And we're happy with that, right? It looks good. And then the last thing is to indicate what's in blue, what's in green. Text tool. We're going to click. Green is GFP. GFP, but we don't want it to be bold. It's still bold. We want it to be regular. Let's just do 12, because I'm feeling 12 today. No, I'm lying. I don't want to be 12. Why is it still bold? Okay, regular. 12 is too small. Let's do 15, because I think 15 looks good. Oh, but it's in black too, remember? It's black. So we're gonna change it to, for now, let's do white. We'll select the actual text, click I for the eyedropper tool, and we want this to be green. And so holding down the mouse, you can see which area I'm selecting. Cool. If for any reason you're like, I cannot change this green, or I cannot find a really bright green color, try to find a bright green spot and click on this. You can adjust the actual saturation, hue, but I actually do like this color, so. Okay, going back to our selection tool, or V. Select here, Control V, and we want this to be Dappy, which is a nuclear marker. Okay, so Control All, and we want this to be Dappy. Okay, so click on the text, click I for the eyedropper tool. We want this to be blue, but the blue is so dark. That one's good, but I think we can make it a little bit brighter. I think I changed. Well, I'm happy with that bright color. I'm happy with that. Now this alignment looks ugly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure, I don't like the spacing between GFP and Dappy. I think they're too far apart. So I'm just gonna scooch it up a bit like that. Wow, that's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna select these two texts. To do that, I can hold down Shift and select GFP and Dappy. And now they're kind of selected together like that. Another shortcut key that you might, is randomly blurting this out. You might think, oh, to redo something, you can click Control Y. No, it does not do redo. In fact, it does this and it looks kind of strange. To get out of this twilight zone, Control Y again. To redo, it is Control Shift Z. You want to make sure you align this on the right, like that. I'm gonna group these together. Control G. My personal preference, I want to make sure that the panel letter and these labels are aligned to the very top. I'll click on A and GFP. Remember, GFP, Dappy are grouped together. And I'll just click align to the top like that. I've seen some figures where they will include the scale bar measurement in the figure legend. But if you're making a poster and you want to include it in here, let's do that. You know, why not? Control V again, because we still have the GFP copied. And this was 500 microns. But what if you're like, I don't remember how many microns that was. Well, if you double click on this original picture, the exact measurement is right here in the bottom. But it's tiny, and I was right. 500 microns. Wow, like, do I have good memory or what? Okay, click out of this to exit isolation mode, and we're gonna write 500 microns. Now, I'm lazy. I don't like going through the symbols tool to find mu. So what I'm gonna do is Google it. Google it, just copy and paste. Micron symbol. And that's okay. No one's gonna judge. Bam, see? And no one has to know. So I'm gonna make this white to match the scale bar color. Maybe. In fact, I'm gonna center the text and the scale bar together. Click these two, center right here. Maybe it's not, this isn't low enough. Some people might say this is too big. I don't know, I like to keep this text and this text the same size, so whatever. Select this and scale bar. I'm gonna group them together. And then I'm gonna align Jiffy Dappy and this text to the right. And I believe they're already aligned. Yep, they are. This is our final product. I'm thinking, is there anything else I need to edit or make adjustments to? I think this looks good, right? I don't know, if you think I should adjust anything else, comment down below and I'll make a revised version someday. I don't know, I'll do something. I'll probably address it in an Instagram or TikTok video. I'll make an apology video there, how about that? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. And in my previous video, I asked y'all to comment a brain emoji if you wanted a chance to win something from my website, my merch website. And the winner is Morgan Amelia Andrews. I will reach out to you. Thank you for commenting your Instagram handle. I will DM you. Thank you so much for watching. If there is something that I did not cover in this video and you're like, Darian, can you please make a tutorial video on blah, 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 or I'm struggling making, I don't know, figures for Western plots, feel free to comment down below. I read every single message. I read every single comment. I think I'm forgetting something, but I don't know exactly what it is. So I'm just going to leave. Bye.